mean, obviously a big win, but playing for a larger cause tonight. What's that like to just go out there and represent something bigger than just the game?
Right, yeah, we're the mental health matters thing. We definitely take that seriously, and our coach, Coach Peterson, does a really good job of helping us get the resources if guys need it and stuff like that. So it's cool to wear those warm ups and stuff.
And then Shay, you had 15 points off the bench today. How cool is that to start heating up?
It was good. Mostly about finding my rhythm. I mean, trusting the process day in, day out, trusting the coaching staff and what they were telling me. I mean, I struggled a little bit the first two games, and I came out, just played, and trusted the process, which was a big thing. So.
And sort of a tune-up game. What's it like? How does it feel to kind of try some new things out that maybe you want to try against like a Summit League opponent?
Right, yeah, we tried some different things defensively and stuff that we've worked on in practice the last couple of weeks. It was good to, do some of that, and then I'm sure our coaches, will break down film and we'll get better that way. So, it was a good game, and we're looking forward to Iowa for sure.
And then mentioned you guys didn't allow a 10-point scorer on their team, which is huge. What does that say about your team's defense and its depth?
I mean, all summer we've been preaching defense. We haven't even worked on offense till like 2 weeks ago, which was said in the film room. But all summer it was defense, defense, defense. And I think it shows the work we put in, the work the coaches have put in, the film that they have broken down on each player. I mean, I think it just says a lot to our work ethic and the type of team we are.
And then looking towards Iowa, how excited is that locker room right now? Do you know?
So excited. We can't wait. I mean, I was a Big Ten opponent. They're a really, really good team. They've been really good over the past couple of years. So hopefully we can just go play our best game and hope the outcome swings our way. So
awesome.
You guys see the T-shirt. Special game to me is it's our mental health game, and we did it with Mount Marty last year, the first game of the year. Just try to get more fans involved, right? And I didn't know about it, but I go to their bench and say, hey, thanks for being part of this, and found out somebody in their staff had a family member commit suicide, right? And that's right before the game, and I'm just like, okay. It kind of shook me up a little bit. And so I wanted to do this with Mount Marty every single year because there's a personal connection there, and so I appreciate Colin doing that. But I just want to give you guys some information about suicide in college athletics. It's the second most common cause of death behind accidents, right? Over a 20-year span, there's been 128 suicides, so that's about 6.2 per year, or 6.4 per year, right? And the average age of a suicide is 20. All right, so it's kind of like right in the middle of people's college careers. I thought we've done a really good job. We hired a full-time sports psychologist for our athletes, which I think is really, really important. But there's a lot going on. The rate has doubled from 7 to 15% in those 20 years. So if we continue along that path, it's just not good enough. I'm going to give the NCAA some credit. What they've done over the last year or so, when you finish school, okay, in the next 2 years, if there's injuries or something happened here and they need more treatment or they need another knee surgery or more rehab or whatever, you can get up to $90,000, right? $25,000 of that money can go towards mental health, which I think is phenomenal. These student athletes do a ton for us. We owe that to them when they're done here to take care of them. So props to the NCAA for making that happen, but we have to be better. I mean, we absolutely do. I encourage our fans on social media. We don't need to go at players. We don't need to go against at players on other teams. These are kids, like these are student athletes. We all got to be better, and we have to be better. The rate's too high, and one suicide is just way too many. So, the thing I'll leave you with on this is pound 988 is a suicide prevention and crisis hotline. It's 24 hours. Memorize it like 911. And if you need somebody to talk to, call it immediately. But we care about our student athletes, and we got to be better. We know that. So, thanks for listening on that. About the game. I'm really happy with the minute distribution. I told Colin before the game, he's got a good team. He does, and at times, they played really well. They were 3-1 going into the game. Tough loss a couple nights ago, but they're taking strides in the right direction too. And you can clearly see that they're better, and they're missing a couple players too. So I'm excited for his season when he gets those guys back. But happy with our effort. Sometimes when you play these games. The effort maybe or the energy is a little bit lower, right? What are our guys potentially thinking about playing Iowa on Tuesday? But I thought they did a really good job with their effort. We didn't shoot it great. We missed a lot of shots, but the effort was there, and you never want to coach effort.
Yeah, I mean, Shea off the bench led your team with 15 points. How cool is that to just see the depth of the team?
Yeah, I've always believed in Shea, and I was a little frustrated the first couple games because sometimes when freshmen play, they think they got to come in and do everything to stay on the floor, and it's like you don't. Like, just come in. And that's his first game experience this past week. And I told him, you're the least experienced person out there, right? So if you come in and you're worried about scoring, you're worried about making the home run play or the great pass, like, you're never going to be successful if that's what you're worried about. Like, when he plays full court defense and he turns the guy and he's just playing really hard, really gets him going on offense. And I just told him, like, Shay, the more you play, the more comfortable you'll be, and then the more you can do, right? So I think that was really, really important, and he's taken a major step just in 3 games. But we know he's a good player. He's a 6A first-team All-State guy in Texas, which is the highest level in Texas, right? There's really good basketball down there. I've followed Shea since I've been an assistant at Utah. I recruited him when I was an assistant at Utah. So we really believe in Shea, and we just think he's going to get better and better.
And then defensively, held them to no 10-point scorer on the night.
Yeah.
What does that say about your team's defense?
Yeah, there's one guy we really wanted to key on. Tash, right? He's a tremendous player, averaging about 23 a game, and he's going to be phenomenal in that league. I just think the press, it just gets the ball in other people's hands, and it's harder to run plays, right? I just said on the radio, I was watching Southern play Iowa, and Southern probably ran 3 plays against us because they couldn't because of our press, and they probably ran 15 plays against Iowa, right? So it just maybe takes some guys out of what they're trying to do, and then they're getting catches in the offense in different spots that they're not used to, right? And that's a major reason why I wanted to, just turn up the pressure and press more, is just to disrupt that, right? There's a lot of Summit League teams that want to run plays over and over and over again, and I think that's really going to help us. But yeah, I mean, they played a lot of guys. We played a lot of guys. Our scoring distribution was a little bit all over the place too. 3 double-digit scores, but yeah, anytime it's not about, hey, they didn't have a double-digit score. Anytime you can take a guy that is averaging 23 a game and hold him to 7, right? That's a good night for us. And 5 of them were free throws, so we had 1 field goal.
And then you mentioned your team stays pretty even-keeled, not getting up or 2 down for a game. What do you guys preach during the week to kind of keep them on that level? Yeah,
one of the things I learned when I came here as an assistant coach, the head coach is Craig Smith. He's at Utah now, University of Utah. And I was a young coach, and I was a head coach the previous 2 years, and I was probably too emotional. I was probably too up and down, where, like, Craig was just, like, right here every single day. There was no here or here. Like, somebody could have been sick in his family, or he could have been sick, but he was consistent with his attitude, effort. All that stuff was consistent every day. And when you're consistent as a coach, your players are consistent, right? If you're moody and you're going nuts one possession, and you're cheering the next, like, the player's kind of like, what? Like, what's going on? So I think as a coaching staff, the emphasis has been on, we got to be consistent with these guys. We really got to coach them hard, be positive with them, and just keep lifting them up. And when you do that, I think everybody kind of follows, right? So the mindset's just, we got to get better, right? You got to get into every game and find a way to get better, whether you're playing Iowa, Southern, Mount Marty, it doesn't matter. We have to take strides, so we are hitting our stride when we open up Summit League play.
And then looking towards Iowa, what are you guys anticipating for that game?
Yeah, Iowa's very good, right? I watched them, ironically enough, they played Utah. The last game they played in the NIT was against Utah. Utah beat them at home. And I knew we were playing Iowa already, and our season was over, so I wanted to watch Utah because of the staff that I'm good friends with and some of the players that I recruited there, right? So I got kind of an inside look at those guys, and the 2 games this year, they shoot a ton of threes, right? And they make a lot of threes. They have one of the best bigs in the Big Ten in Owen Freeman. Very good big kid. I think he's a sophomore. I expect it to be a very high-pace, high-tempo game because they do run up and down and transition a lot and fire a lot of threes. Our job is to speed them up, right? Try to speed them up and get them out of their rhythm. And obviously, if they shoot a lot of threes, long shots, long rebounds, you got to be able to rebound it. And then we can start our break the other way. But I don't know. One of the teams that plays our style that we kind of took some stuff from is Samford, right? And I'll never forget, I watched them play against Kansas in the NCAA tournament, and Kansas really struggled with their pressure, right? We're not Samford right now. The goal is to potentially be that good defensively, but we'll see how it goes, right? I guarantee you it's hard to prepare for what we're about to throw at them for 40 minutes, and that's got to be our mindset every time we step on the floor.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Go Yotes.